headed into October and look at all of the uncertainty. And Justin, I don't think that's a term issue, but I think it is a percentage of the cap issue. So I think they are trying to wield their power. And I will say this, Justin, I've asked players before about signing shorter term. I'll say this, that the one thing that they all say to me is that they feel in hockey there's just such a huge risk of injury that a lot of guys will take the security.
You're watching and listening to Hockey Night in Canada and 32 Thoughts, Elliotte Friedman. So I would imagine between Kirill the Thrill and Connor, I don't know, the song and dance will continue.
Kirill, and I get the sense right now, Nick, that the Wild are kind of saying this is where we are, 8 times 16. I think they're wondering two things. Number one, is anybody out? Does he want to be here? And that's one thing they're trying to figure out. And number two, are we negotiating against ourselves? Like, just say for argument's sake, they say, okay, we'll do 8 times 18. Do they really feel that there's anybody out there that's going to beat that? And if he wants to leave, he's going to leave for whatever anyway. So what's the point of raising the offer? So I think the Wild kind of let this sit and percolate and see where this goes, if anywhere.
The danger,
McDavid,
Elliotte, the danger with these superstars is trying to hold on to hope. And we've said it best on what hope is, right? And, if the... It's the Marner and the Leafs. Like, now that we've had a chance to really reflect, did you ever think that there was a chance that Mitch Marner was going to ever sign in Toronto?
The only thing I've said, Nick, is if they beat Florida, don't you think they find a way?
I based a lot of my feeling on they're banking on a big run, and he changes his mind. But it never came close. So I'm just wondering now, can Minnesota do the same thing? Can they just sit there and hope Kirill changes his mind?
Nick, I think you're bang on. I mean, one of the challenges there, and we learned this last year, is that Marner had the hammer with the no move clause, right? And Kaprizov's got the same thing. So you're limited in what you can do. But I think the thing you're 100% bang on right about is it's like dating, right? It's like asking somebody out. If this person says no, do I go back to them and say, all right, I'm going to try to convince them to change their mind?
Yeah.
Or as the movie goes, it's just not that into you. You have to be honest about what the truth is.
And McDavid, we know you got plenty of experience there, right?
That's right. I understand. I've heard the line. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. With McDavid, I just think it's. I don't know. My whole feeling on McDavid has been pretty honest. I think he's going to sign for short term. I think the number is going to be lower than we think. I think it's going to be below 16 if he stays there.
That's a shock to me if that happens.
Let Kirill lead the league in
I could see it. I could really see it. I think if he stays, then he's going to. I mean, he wants to win. I think he's well aware that if he stays in Edmonton, they've got Draisaitl making 14. They've got Bouchard making 10 and a quarter. They got Nurse making 9.25. So 10 and a half, excuse me, for Bouchard. I think he's going to say, I can't completely prevent them from building, right? So I still think he stays short term, and I'm willing to be proven wrong on that if it happens.
My 2 cents is Kirill is going to get traded. On to the Leafs here. One more Leaf-related question, and it relates to the whole league at large, which is, how hard is it to make trades right now? Every team has players. You look into the Leafs lineup. Today, their forward lines leave out Kampf, Yarncroc, Robertson, and Pizzetta.
I saw that.
At some point, those are good NHL players, but I feel like every team has guys right now. It's really tough to make a trade at this time of year.
I think it's the one guy you mentioned, and I think it's a bit of a source of frustration for Robertson that it's lasted on this long. For me, with Robertson, the issue has always been that I don't know if worry's the right word, but he goes somewhere else and just scores, right? And then you just sit there and you say, oh, we couldn't have that. But I have sat next to you guys, and I really like watching games with you guys because I find that the thing that you guys do is you pick apart the defensive issues right away. Like, you see the mistakes in the D zone right away. And if the Maple Leafs are not confident in Robertson as a defensive player, there's no point in holding on to him. Like, just cut bait. So I think with guys like Kemp and Yarncroke, the problem is that teams are probably saying, like, what can we do with what can we get out of the Maple Leafs for doing this, right? And I think Toronto doesn't really want to do that. So I think that's part of the issues with those guys. Robertson, to me, it's more of an issue of, hey, what's going to happen when he moves on? And but that one, like, putting all these guys on waivers,
so you
do it anyway.
Yep.
You have no room to play him. You signed him to $1.8 million. And you're worried about him scoring on another team. Like,
it's also very funny that they have an opening on the
please.
right wing in the top 6, and they're like, if only we had somewhere to give him a chance. We just can't see it.
There's no place for him on this hockey club.
Yeah.
Could he get a shift beside Matthews and Nyes? I don't know. No, I agree. No, I'm just saying, if it doesn't, then there's nowhere. You don't want him anywhere. So cut bait. You're right.
Elliotte,
I remember Berkey. Remember what he did with Ilya Bryzgalov? He said, we got nothing for him here. We got to put him on waivers and give him a chance somewhere else. Like, eventually, you reach that point.
got to ask you. We also watched Marc-Andre Fleury with a pretty emotional night in Pittsburgh, and I've lost the counts of goodbyes. Hey, listen,
you were really upset by it.
It's not something that, like, it was near and dear to watch for me personally, but it touched a lot of people in Pittsburgh, and for an organization that may not have a lot of upside moving forward, I think it was a real important connection between these guys and that city that has been so loyal to all these players from the moment Mario got drafted. Like, they deserved that night. It wasn't for me, but it was certainly for them. But I don't know what the immediate future looks for all of them, including a challenging, not only rebuild, but maybe a transition into new ownership.
Well, I mean, the one thing that someone said to me, Nick, is that they wonder if there's going to be more of this. Like the one name someone mentioned to me was Claude Giroux. Like, could you see a situation if Claude Giroux retires as an Ottawa Senator, where Philly brings him back for one extra? Because it was hugely attended. It was like more fans in the building than for a normal exhibition game. I'm sure they did a killing on concessions and merch and stuff like that. The only thing that might save everyone from that happening is that there's going to be fewer exhibition games. But there were people who looked at that and said, I guarantee you that's not the last time we're going to see that.
Yeah,
As for the Penguins,
it's Marc-Andre Fleury. He's a Hall of Famer. The Stanley Cups, like Claude Giroux, love him, but come on, you can't touch that and compare it to Giroux back in Philly, who didn't win a thing.
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's interesting to me. It's interesting. I had a couple of people say, this isn't the last time we're going to see this happen.
It's very funny. The Penguins have the goodwill machine, like, just overdrive. They had the Hall of Fame thing. They inducted Scotty Bowman, Ron Francis, Eddie Johnson, Kevin Stevens, bringing back the old guys, Marc-Andre Fleury. They're just generating as much goodwill before they're just terrible for Gavin McKenna and hopefully a sale. It's all part of the plan.
It makes sense.
That's the thing, too. Like, imagine you're a new owner. First thing, go in there. Okay. Like, that's what happened to Fenway